Hi Cancer, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing a bonus reading for you guys. You had the highest viewership yet again last week, so I am so very thankful for you guys. I am going to start by letting you know that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Cancer sign out there, so guys, just take what resonates for you and leave the rest for someone else. Keep in mind that the energies may reverse. So if it's resonating, Cancer, get in where you fit in, but don't force yourself into a reading that's not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Cancer? All right. All right, Cancer, you are starting out with the Three of Swords reversed. You have the Nine of Cups. And coming out together, you have the Queen of Swords along with the Knight of Swords. All right. So I do feel like you are healing from heartbreak. Something really devastated you. For some of you, it could have even been third-party energy, but you're healing from this. You're kind of coming out of that heartbreak now. With the Nine of Cups, I feel like you are eyeing and looking at, well, what is going to make me really happy? Your boundaries are very strong. You're speaking truthfully. You're truthful with self. You're truthful with others. There's been definite changes in your energy, primarily with you setting up these boundaries after all of this heartbreak. And now I feel like you're looking at what it is that you really do want. There's something to do with wish fulfillment that is coming your way as well. So let me see who is in your energy. Yeah, you've gone through a lot here, and I do feel like you are kind of on the other side of that now. So I like that you're coming forward with the boundaries. All right, so the person in your energy, we have the King of Wands. You might be dealing with an Aries, Leo, or a Sagittarius. We have the Six of Pentacles reversed and the Two of Swords. So the person that's in your energy has some sort of a decision that they need to make. This person could be an entrepreneur or a manager of some sort. With the King of Wands, you're looking at somebody that is definitely very attractive, very charismatic. People like to be around this person. They're a natural leader. I do feel like they stay very busy because there's a sense of imbalance here within their life. And I do feel like, you know, you're kind of eyeing this. You know what I'm getting, Cancer? It's almost this energy of somebody who might be resisting change a little bit, and they feel pulled. They feel like they're being pulled in different directions. So that's where we're seeing them being led to a decision. And there's a lot of indecision in their energy, which is not really customary for this person. I feel like usually this person is very proactive, but they're seated in indecision. So let me see the energy between Cancer and this person. Show me the energy between Cancer and this person. The Emperor. Yeah, some of you are definitely dealing with somebody who is a business owner. They don't have to be, but they're usually extremely proactive. And I do feel like you both have extremely strong energies here as well. You see, when you put these boundaries up, Cancer, and you began to heal from all of this heartbreak, you did it because you said, basically, I'm going to pull myself up by my bootstraps. I have to take charge of my life. I'm responsible for my healing. I'm responsible for bringing in what it is that I want, which I do see you doing. So you have come so far, so very far. And it's because you chose to do so. Some of you guys could also be business owners, but the person that's in your energy, I feel like this is somebody who normally is very proactive, but right now, it's almost like your energy is so strong that they might feel like they have to take a step back a little bit. So I do feel like, you know, whatever the situation is between you and this person, I feel like you have a lot to do with the direction it's going to go. So let me see what's affecting this energy. Very strong Aries energy here for somebody. The Five of Swords. Ooh, did you have conflict with this person? If you did, it's caused a lot of imbalance in this person's energy. But I see them being conflicted internally, but it looks like there could have been some conflict that you may have had with this person. Interesting. That's what's affecting the connection. Show me the outcome for Cancer. Show me the outcome for Cancer. Yeah, it's left a sense of unknown, a sense of a lack of clarity here. I do feel like you like this person, though. Ace of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, it's a lack of clarity. And that's not going to cut it with you right now, because I can see in your energy, Cancer, that you are all about the truth. You're all about the boundaries, all about the truth. And you know, you've gone through so much. Queen of Swords is known as the divorce queen and has very strong boundaries, can be a little cold, a little distant. But it's not because they want to be, it's because life experiences, especially heartache, has created those boundaries. Now, I don't see your sword up, but I feel like, you know, you do want to talk to this person. And I do feel like you do want clarity on the situation, because I do feel like you like this person. Bottom of the deck, we have the Devil. So you could be dealing with a Capricorn, but that's a little bit of some toxic energy that's underlying everything. So let's clarify. Spirit, why is the Three of Swords in reverse for Cancer? Uh-oh. Okay, so we have Justice. We have the Seven of Swords reversed. So yeah, the heartbreak had to do with deceit. Somebody was very deceitful with you. I don't know if it was this person or someone else. I do see that you're receiving karmic justice for that. And it was on the heels of this deceit, discovery of some kind of deceit, that you took charge of your life. I bet you had a Tower moment there as well. But you're receiving karmic justice here. So, you know, that's good. Let me see the Nine of Cups. You could have been dealing in the past with a Libra that was deceitful. Why is the Nine of Cups here? Show me the Nine of Cups for Cancer. Okay, we have the Four of Swords. We have the Ten of Coins. And we have the Nine of Cups reversed. Yeah, you've had enough of things not going your way. You've had enough of dealing with people that are, you know, like moving against you, as it were. You've had, it looks like a lot of you have had a lot of conflict with either close friends or family. Because as you were healing, you were trying to define what it was that you wanted. I feel like you kind of took a step back from everyone and everything. And I don't feel like either close friends or families, I don't think they appreciated that. But I don't think you care. I don't think you care. I think you said, no, I have to heal. You know, the pain that you experienced progressed. But now the healing that you're experiencing is progressing. So I do feel like you are like becoming extremely clear about what it is that you want in life. I feel like you are taking other people for who and what they are. And I also feel like you're communicating very clearly with people. But I do see conflict with close friends and family. I also see with this person in your energy, there could be some conflict because of their indecision. See, you're thinking about things from a long-term perspective, and you're not settling for anything. You want it all. You want the loyalty. You want the, you know, the long-term. You want the commitment. You want everything. And you know what? You get to have that. Nobody can tell you. You only get less if you settle for less. And I don't see you wanting to do that. Now, unfortunately, it looks like that was part of the conflict that occurred between you and this person. Because this person, I feel like, is used to getting their way. They're used to people doing what it is that they want. This is a very charming person, and they're very used to charming their way into and out of situations. And it looks like, Cancer, you put a block on that. You were like, no, I know what I want, and this is not it. and it caused conflict. I feel like this person might have breadcrumbed you a little bit. They weren't giving equally, and you put a kibosh on that. So, and it created conflict, which I don't think you wanted. That's not what you were looking for. But I feel like you also know your value and your self-worth, and I feel like you will, you know, basically stand up for yourself. So let me see. That might be why we're seeing this bottom energy. Show me the bottom energy for Cancer. Oh, yeah. See, it's related directly to the Six of Pentacles reversed, which is in their energy. Yeah, you put up your boundaries with this person. We have the Death card reversed. Here's the Six of Pentacles reversed. And then we have the Seven of Cups. So I don't feel like you think things are over between you and this person, but you did feel like because they were not giving equally to the situation, I feel like you stood up for yourself. And unfortunately, it does look like it created some conflict. But I feel like you have other options, and you've let this person know, look, I'm interested. I don't want to end this. I don't think this is over. However, I'm not taking less than what I deserve. So I do see you having other options here. I do feel like you're a little bit confused as to why this person is not giving more to the connection. But I think you're still emotionally attached, and I think you feel like it's not over, or maybe you don't want it to be over. So now we see why this person has come to a decision. Yeah, this person, I feel like you're dealing with here, they're used to people catering to them, and you're not catering. But I don't see you coming across in any kind of a negative way. I don't. I see you being a little bit guarded, but I also feel like you are being very truthful and very direct. So let's look at this person's energy. Spirit, why is the King of Wands here for the person in Cancer's energy? No, I actually really like your energy here, Cancer. I do feel like, though, it took a lot for you to get there, and I feel like it was a painful journey for you. All right, we have the Lovers, we have the Queen of Cups, and we have the Page of Pentacles. So for some of you, there's more than one person that is in this situation. This person does think a lot of you. I feel like they are, you know, they've got feelings for you, but I'm seeing that there's a choice here. They have a choice between you and someone else, possibly somebody who is a little younger than they are or a bit more immature. I will say that this person definitely is very focused on you, and they see you as a soulmate, but I'm also seeing that there's a choice. So there's strong feelings here, and this person feels like they've been led to you, but there's another person that is involved in the situation. All right, let me see Six of Pentacles reversed. Show me Six of Pentacles reversed. Ace of Cups reversed. And the Three of Coins reversed. Yeah, so this person, when you had the altercation, they became very uncooperative. I do see an ending here between the two of you. You may not have known that this person was involved with someone else, or that there was someone else in their energy. If that's the case, you are aware of it now, and you don't like it one bit. That might have been what brought about this altercation. But I feel like they were not very cooperative in the situation, like when you were trying to discuss this, to talk to them. Yeah, I don't feel like they were cooperative with it. This person kind of got up in their ego a little bit. I do see an ending here. And it has to do with juggling. It has to do with an unequal give and take here. Let me see the Two of Swords. Why is the Two of Swords here? Ace of Swords and the Six of Swords. So they're trying to decide if this connection is going to be successful or not. They just don't know. They are looking for the clarity. It's almost like this person, Cancer, like they they know you have other options. They know you're not putting up with anything. And it's almost like they're saying, well, I have to keep my options open as well. And so I do feel like they're trying to figure out if things between you and them are actually going to work out, so they have somebody in their back pocket. Yeah, I don't like that type of energy. Other than that, I'm not seeing, well, I don't like that they've got somebody in the back pocket, but I do feel like you're going to hear from this person. They're trying to make a decision about whether or not to communicate with you, to come forward, because you're all about the truth and clarity. They know that if they come forward and they communicate, that the only way that's going to work out and be successful is if they're telling the truth as well. Let's look at the energy between Cancer and this person. Show me the energy between Cancer and this person. You might be dealing with another water sign, another Cancer like yourself, or a Pisces, Scorpio. I'm also seeing Gemini energy here. Show me the energy between Cancer and this person. Okay, so we have Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. All right, we got the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands. So you definitely have choices, as do they. Yeah, as do they. I feel like, because see, they're coming out as the King of Wands, and there's deception that came out with relation to this King of Wands. And you want justice for this. You want karmic justice for this situation. So I do feel like you were very proactive in your own life, especially after you found out that there was some deceit here. There was some kind of lying, cheating, and stealing. Some of you could have been married to this person or in a committed connection with this person. I feel like there's this energy of this person leading you to believe that the two of you were very, very stable, but yet at the same time, there was someone in their back pocket. So I do feel like that came out. It came out into the open. Yeah, for some of you, I'm also seeing that this person, you could have been the new person. This person might have been, you know, in another connection, because the King of Pentacles is typically someone who is in a committed connection or a marriage. And that would be that you had come into the situation. If that's the case, this person has a choice between you and someone that they're currently with. And they would know that the only way that you're going to accept them is if they end that other connection. Yeah, they're very focused on you, but there's definitely complications that are here, and I don't feel like you're taking third-party energy. Show me the Five of Swords. Show me the Five of Swords. Show me what's affecting this connection. Yeah, they're not being honest. King of Swords reversed. That coupled with the Five of Swords can indicate narcissistic behavior as well. I don't feel like they're talking to you in a respectful manner. I don't feel like they are being truthful and honest with you. And this is what you don't want, you don't like, especially if they are involved, you know, elsewhere. I feel like you feel that you gave your emotions, you gave your love to this person, and they just kind of sat there and didn't recognize what you were giving to them. Yeah, and I do feel like this person is a bit dishonest. You know, Five of Swords along with the King of Swords reverse indicates narcissism a lot. So, you know, if not full-blown, there's some tendencies here with that. And there's some dishonesty. I do feel like you're not currently talking to this person, but I feel like they do want to talk to you. I feel like this situation, the entirety of it, was something that you found very distasteful. So you're trying to, you know, learn the lessons from this experience, and you're trying to move forward. I do feel like you've done a lot of healing here, but I also see that there is somebody in your energy, because you have options that you actually are not even aware of that has feelings for you. Or you might be aware of it and you just don't see them as an option because you're still emotionally attached to this situation. So let me see your outcome. Show me the outcome for the person in Cancer's energy. Between Cancer and the person in their energy. All right, Queen of Wands. This was a passionate connection. The Two of Wands reversed and the Five of Swords. I'm sorry, Five of Cups. Okay, so I see you really kind of finding your balance here. I do see that Cancer, this was a very passionate connection. And I do feel like you felt like the two of you were a great couple. However, they've brought a lot of confusion into this situation. And it looks like through dishonesty, narcissistic behavior, conflict, it's just been very unbalanced. So I do see that you're being truthful with yourself. You're saying, yeah, I do still have feelings for this person. I don't feel like it's completely over. But for right now, I have other options and I'm moving in another direction. I feel like, you're kind of taking charge of your own life here. And I'll tell you this too, Cancer, you're showing up here as being, just as attractive and just as charismatic as this person. I feel like the two of you were dynamic together, but then they kind of pulled all this stuff. And I feel like you just said, no, I got to put up some boundaries here. So I do see you having choices. I see you being proactive towards self. I see a lot of healing, but I feel like there's just so little clarity that you receive from this person. Now, here's the deal. They're seeing you have this glow up and they're wanting to talk to you. They're going back and forth. They know that they cannot approach you if they're still involved with someone else. That's one. And I also feel like they're trying to figure out what it is that they can say to you that's going to be successful. This person knows that they haven't been truthful and they know you know it. And so they're not going to come to you, with anything that's not, they know they have to come clean. They have to come, correct. They have to come clean in order for it to work out. They see you moving forward. They see you moving in another direction. Some of you have travel plans this week or you're making plans. But I do see that this person is very sad. I feel like they're having regrets. They're having regrets for their indecision, for their past behavior, for deception, for toxicity. So this person is regretting it because they see you kind of being proactive in your own life and choosing to move forward, and they know you have other options. So I feel like they're seated in regret right now. They want to talk to you, but at the same time, they go back and forth. Should I call Cancer up? Should I talk to Cancer? They go back and forth, and they know that you're not accepting anything less than what you deserve. So that's why they're silent. That's the silence. Look at that. Bottom of the deck is the Five of Swords. And that's in the center of your reading. So there's a lot of conflict here, and the conflict is being caused by toxicity. It's underlying the entire reading. So, yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I'm going to pull an oracle card, and we'll see if there's any further advice or... Okay. Okay, so you have number 2, and it's called Gentle Gardener. Let me read that for you. I do feel like overall, Cancer, you are definitely coming into your own. All right, it says, be your own person, be a conscious co-creator. The gentle gardener is visiting you at this moment in your life to remind you that your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs create the reality you experience. She is the embodiment of the energy within you that is sent out into the field of co-creation and ensures that all that you are is reflected in the world of form. Are you aware of your thoughts? Are you aware of their quality of your thoughts? Believe in limitless possibility and you will see miracles unfold. The gentle gardener guarantees the integrity of everything you send out into the world. Stay positive and expect a wondrous return. Your garden is abundant with beauty. So you guys are in a very high manifestational mode right now. Be aware of that because you want to keep your vibe high and manifest what it is that you want. Excuse me. All right, I hope this has been helpful for you. If you've resonated with this reading, Cancer, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hype the video if you get the opportunity. Until I see you in your next reading, Cancer, know that you are loved and namaste.